In the silence of a monastery, in the whisper of prayer, in the roar of thunder that shook the heavens, a holy woman once revealed a truth that still echoes through the church today. Love that is pure moves the heart of God. Welcome back to the Saints' Path, where we walk together through the lives of the saints, discovering their struggles, their miracles, and the lessons they left behind for us today. Tonight, we journey into the life of Saint Scholastica, the woman known as the mother of Western monasticism, the twin sister of Saint Benedict, and the saint whose prayer once stopped a storm, or rather, caused one. Saint Scholastica was born around the year 480 AD in Nursia, Italy, during one of the most uncertain periods in Western history. The Western Roman Empire had just fallen. Cities were collapsing. Order was disappearing. Fear and instability filled the land. Yet, in the middle of political chaos, God quietly planted seeds of spiritual stability. Scholastica was born into a wealthy and noble family, but her destiny would not be defined by riches or status. From a young age, she displayed a deep interior life, a seriousness, a quiet devotion, and a detachment from worldly luxuries unusual for a child of privilege. She had a brother, Benedict. Most historians believe they were twins. This twin bond would become one of the most powerful spiritual friendships in Christian history. While other children chased pleasure and prestige, Scholastica's heart longed for something greater, a life entirely dedicated to God. As Benedict felt drawn to solitude and eventually to monastic life, Scholastica observed his journey with admiration and inspiration. In an age when women had limited opportunities for spiritual leadership, Scholastica boldly chose a path few dared to walk. She consecrated her life to God. Instead of marriage, wealth, or social power, she chose prayer, simplicity, and service. She sought permission from the local bishop to join a community of women devoted to God. Eventually, as Benedict began forming a new monastic rule centered on prayer and work, ora et labora, Scholastica adopted that same rule for women. She became abbess, the spiritual mother and guide of a convent. This moment marked the birth of what would become Benedictine nuns, shaping centuries of Christian life across Europe and beyond. The Benedictine way of life was revolutionary. It emphasized stability, obedience, community prayer, manual labor, balance between body and soul. Monasteries became centers of education, agriculture, charity, and spiritual formation. They preserved knowledge during the Dark Ages and became pillars of civilization. Scholastica's leadership ensured that women had an equal place in this spiritual renewal. She was not merely Benedict's sister. She was a co-founder of a movement that would influence the church for over 1,500 years. Her convent became a sanctuary of discipline, holiness, and peace. Despite living only a few miles apart, Benedict and Scholastica met only once a year. Their meetings were sacred. They spent hours speaking about God, heaven, virtue, and eternity. Then came their final meeting when they were about 63 years old. After a full day of holy conversation and a simple meal, Benedict prepared to leave. Scholastica gently pleaded, "Please do not leave me tonight. Let us go on until morning talking about the delights of the spiritual life." Benedict, bound by strict monastic rules, replied, "Sister, what are you saying? I simply cannot stay outside my cell." What happened next would be remembered forever. Scholastica placed her hands on the table, lowered her head, and prayed. Moments later, lightning split the sky. Thunder roared. Rain poured so heavily that Benedict and his companions could not step outside. The storm was so fierce, they were forced to remain. Benedict looked at his sister and said, "May God forgive you, sister. What have you done?" Scholastica calmly replied, "I asked you, and you would not listen. So I asked my God, and he listened." They spent the entire night praising God together. 3 days later, Benedict was praying in his monastery when he had a vision. He saw his sister's soul ascending to heaven in the form of a dove. Scholastica had passed away peacefully. Benedict ordered her body to be brought to his monastery. She was buried in the grave he had prepared for himself. For years later, Benedict died and was buried in the same tomb. Their earthly mission had ended, but their spiritual unity continued forever. Saint Scholastica teaches us: 1. The power of love and prayer. God answered her because her love was pure and selfless. 2. Holy friendships matter. We are not meant to walk toward heaven alone. 3. Women's role in the Church is foundational. Her leadership shaped centuries of spiritual life. 4. Prayer is stronger than authority. Rules are important, but love fulfills them. Pope St. Gregory the Great summarized her life beautifully. She did more who loved more. Today, Benedictine monasteries and convents exist all around the world. Their rhythm of prayer and work continues. Their libraries preserved ancient wisdom. Their schools educated generations. Their communities still offer silence in a noisy world. Saint Scholastica remains a patron of nuns' education, prayerful perseverance, holy friendships. Her story reminds modern Christians that faith is not only doctrine, it is relationship, love, and community. Saint Scholastica, you who loved God more than the world, you who showed us that prayer born from love reaches heaven, pray for us, that we may build holy friendships, seek silence in a noisy world, and love God with all our hearts. Saint Scholastica and Saint Benedict, pray for us. Jesus, we trust in you. Thank you for walking the saint's path. If this story touched your heart, share it, for one saint's life can light the way for many souls.